All right, on our last run with this, it worked out actually pretty good, I think. We got some more Arcanor and we got some more Kernite. And it says that the Kernite's worth more than the Arcanor, but our analysis shows that the price is not really right on this because Arcanor in high sec is usually compressed, and so there's probably not a whole lot of raw Arcanor out here, where there is a lot of raw Kernite. And so the value of it is just a little bit less than Kernite, actually. And it has some of the materials that I'm looking for. So we're going to go out to this wormhole one more time here, see what we can do. And this ship has been fantastic so far. It is way better than the Venture. I don't know if it's recommendation worthy yet. I think that we have to figure out something. And that is, at what scan strength can you not be scanned down? And that's even with implants and the best probe launcher and probes. At what strength here, right here, the targeting, at what points can you not be scanned down? Somebody said they thought it was 40. And we're pushing 84 on this when it's fully running. So I don't know. I actually don't know what the number is. But I would like to know, because we could, if the number really is 40, then we'd only need 2 or 3 of these to get the number instead of using 4 here, because 4 might be just plain old overkill. So before I kind of, figure that out, or before I post this as one of my recommended fits, I think I need to know that number. So, 2 of the SIBOs don't even have effect on it. There's 0 difference from 2 to 4. All right, we'll test that real quick here. So right now, we're at 84.92, and if I turn off 2 of them, I mean, so what do you mean when you say it doesn't have an effect? Because now we're down to 43.14. So it does have an effect, at least on that number, but is it like that nobody can scan above 40 anyway, and so it doesn't matter? You'll always be scannable anyway? I don't understand. Because we've tested the Heron with 4 of them, and no one was able to scan it down. And so when you try and probe it, you get a signal strength, yeah. And they just can't get enough signal strength, right? So it doesn't mean that you can't see it. What it does, what our testing has shown is that you can't resolve it. You can see it, but you can't resolve it. And you have to have a resolve to fly to it. And maybe that's what you're talking about a little bit. Almost thought I heard somebody landing, that little thud when somebody lands out of warp. So people would be able to see me on D-Scan for sure. But here's the thought process behind this. And that is that if we're running this to where you can't scan me with combat probes, then if you fly to this site here, and you just like warp to the site because directional scan says that you're there, and I'm on the outer fringe of it, then you're not going to drop on top of me. And I have a 3-tick align with this. And so I'll be out of there before you can get me. That's my thought process. The number stays the same if it's 2, 3, or 4 boosters. Yeah. So with 2 boosters, you'd get to 87.5%. With 3, you'd get to 87.5%. And with 4, you'd get to 87.5%. Okay. We're going to have to test this. Yeah, so they can just look at the signature of the site and see that there's this ship here, but they wouldn't be able to land on me. See, with combat probes, they hone in, and then if they warp to it, they will land within 5K of me. Or they'll land within 5K of where they resolved me. Since I'm orbiting, they might be a little bit further, or they might be a little bit closer. And if they say, oh, well, I can't quite get them resolved, but in D-Scan I see them here in this average frontier deposit, and they warp to it, they're not going to land right on me. So 7 Blue Sun says that no matter what, whether it's 2, 3, or 4, that it is that. Okay, so I think that we need to test it. And so, I have to see here if I have a character in HiSec that has perfect scanning. And if we do, we can put them in one of these great scanning ships without the implants and see what we got. I don't know that I want to put in the implants and spend 2.5 or 3 billion on them to do this test. But it would be interesting to see, no matter how, if I'm running 2, we get the same percentage results as we do with 3 as we do with 4. Because that might be just saying, okay, we've reached a theoretical maximum in the game, and so the math doesn't go any further with how it's programmed. Something like that. That's my guess. I'm not really sure. Is sound back on? Like, was it off? All right, so I'm about a quarter of the way full. What, in about 10 minutes? No, it doesn't take 40 minutes to fill this, does it? This kind of takes a while, doesn't it? How much per minute? So I'm at 607 cubic meters per minute. Well, I guess you could just do the math then, right? So 19,000 divided by 607. Wow, 31 minutes to fill it. That's an awful long time to be out here. And then if I fill it, I'm going to get, gosh, I don't know what the value is on this because it's really hard to value because there's not much of a marketplace for uncompressed Arcanor. If I can, I might get a better value on it if I compressed it. Obviously, I can't compress it out here. But 30 minutes out here to collect this, to fill the ship. I mean, do I think it's worth at least $1 million a minute? I actually don't know. So I have 31 minutes to fill it up. Now, this is the stuff that I want. This is the right stuff. So because it has Mexilon in it, and that is, or Megasite, I mean. And that is one of the things that I am in need of right now. I know that there's other stuff that would pay better that has like, you know, that has isogen in it, because isogen, you know, is just going pretty high. But I don't need any isogen. And I'm surprised that I haven't had any rats land here. You guys notice that? I mean, I filled up once before. And no rats out here. They're at the other sites, but not this one. All right. Jeffrey, thank you for the support. And we are about halfway full. Did I do all the dailies? I honestly, after the first day, I have not looked at them. Isn't that crazy? They bury them, and I haven't looked at them. I actually haven't given much thought to it because I always have a plan for the day, and those have always been secondary. So, yeah, I just wonder if... you know, I've been wondering a little bit whether or not, like, the login stuff, removing it off of there was a mistake or not. Because I hear other people saying that they're not logging in, and I was thinking about this. Because you know, I was logging in for dailies, and then I would check to see whether or not my skills were still going on some of my alpha characters and stuff. And the it was, I ended up logging into mine, and some of my skill queues had stopped. And I've seen other people saying that they just haven't even been logging in, and I usually have a purpose for logging in. But I think that having those dailies made me look. You know, it made me at least look and notice if something was off, like all of a sudden I had a bunch more money in my account, or my skill training stopped, or whatever. It just made me look at that, and then I might do some stuff. But now I find that I'm a lot more purpose-driven. Like, that if I have something I'm planning on doing in the game, I'll log in. Otherwise, I'm not. And so, yeah, it's like this morning after server up. Previously, I was logging in like all 4 of my Omega accounts and collecting on that right at the beginning of the show, because I usually start right around server up. But then I didn't do that this morning. I just logged into this one account, and then we logged into the other account when we found a shattered wormhole. So, Waz, I'm not playing DU anymore. Yeah, I wish that I would like to be playing DU, but they haven't updated it. And if they're not updating the content, I'm not playing. Because I've done most everything. That's one of the reasons why Eve has been so successful. They keep updating it. skillq.net. Yeah. No, I'm just talking though about like what I just wonder if it's reducing the number of people actually in the game by how they made these changes. Because I think the more people in the game, the more active it is. The more active it is, the better. And so that's what I think. Bot broke, you resubbed and nothing happened. It shouldn't have broke. God bless the bot. No, actually, the bot has nothing to do with it. So you resubbed and nothing happened. Did you refresh your browser and see if it gives you the button? There was one other person that subbed and it never barked it, but that's a different bot. That one is not the one I run locally. It's a different one. It's actually Twitch themselves for that. I blame Twitch.
You, sir, rock.
There we go. Caffeinator just subscribed for 19 months.
refreshed, this is here.
Haha, yes. All right, 190 gold to everybody here in your honor. And then Squiz, let's find out what Dolly says about you. I bet it's not going to be good things. It's probably going to be like, you know, really bad or something. Really bad. Yeah. How can any good come from a name like yours? I mean, honestly. Okay. That is a really shitty representation of Squiz. I think we need to re-roll that. And so, you know, that one is so much better. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yep. I like it. I like it. All right. So. All right, we'll put that one up in Discord. Oh, here is scanner probes. I have probes out here on me. They're core probes, though. They are of no threat to me. All right. Yes. So. All right, let's see here. All right. Doing here, still just core probes. Core probes are not a problem. Damn. It is nice and stormy out there. We need the water. We need the rain. So I'll take it. Oh, I'm in a wormhole. Yeah. All right, still just scan or core probes. We're at 3/4 full. So I bet you that this type of mining or whatnot might be a lot more profitable if I was going for gas. Where am I at? 16.5 out of 19. We're getting there. All right, just over 17 out of 19. So we figured out that it was 31 minutes to fill the hold. That's, you know, I guess it depends a bit on, you know, well, let's see if when I pop back out into normal space, if there is a station I can compress this at, and then see what it says it's worth. Because I don't think that the worth here is saying 5.7 million. I don't feel like it's very accurate. All right, one more cycle or 1.5, and I should be full. I haven't had anybody bugging me, no rats at this site. Well, you know what? My ship that is my character that does have the implants for doing the scanning. Okay, just over 1.5. We'll go up to 1/4 and then we'll turn it off and that should be full. I bet you she has her pod and a ship in high sec and I can just clone jumper to it. Yep, we are full. All right. So here we go. Nobody messed with me at all. It doesn't mean that this fit is good. Just nobody messed with me. Nobody had combat probes out. I would have liked to have seen somebody trying with combat probes. I actually would have just sat there and watched to see if they would actually arrive here, you know? All right, so we're gonna find the structure browser. Here we go. Compression and everything, one jump away. Doesn't tell where they're at. Oh, it does. Lukashenko. I think is on the way home.
Warp drive active.
All right, so currently says we're 6.1 million. What I've got, we're going to compress it. And then they've got refining here too. And I know I don't have my implant in for refining or my I don't know what my skills are for Arcanor because it's not a high sec ore and this has primarily been a high sec character. I have another character that's worked a lot on refining. Oh goodness. Let's see here. Maybe I should have. I don't know what they charge. 2.5 and they charge 1. They charge 2. We'll see here. I'm brave going into a high sec hole. Yeah, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. So, not too worried about it.
Docking request accepted.
And we're actually testing the stealthiness of this, so, you know, what better could happen than somebody attempt to find me? Nobody even attempted, though. All right, so here is this. It says that it's worth 6.1 million. Let's compress it. And then now it says it's worth 6.7 million. Really not a big difference there now, is it? All right, let's see here. Reprocess. And it says it's going to be worth 5.2 million. What is the loss? I wonder if, I bet you I don't have good skills on this for this I mean, what is this called? Is this complex ore? Arcanor, it's complex. Yeah, I don't have good skills on this. And so I could raise that up. It still just feels like not very much. How do you get it refined free? I don't know of any place you can get it refined free, or can you refine for free at a... No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, NPC station? Or an NPC station won't give you any of the boosts. You'd rather pay a few percent. I don't think that... I don't think that I would do better in an NPC station, to be honest. I think that it's probably fine to pay the amount there. Yeah, the yield is crap. So my yield here is already crap, and I forget what it is. You know, with an implant and the best rigs and everything, what, you're like 89% or something like that, isn't it? So my base yield is 54%, and then they've got rigs and stuff that their setup is bringing it up to 69.8%. I've only got level 1 of the reprocessing of this, so it's not very high. What I need to do is I need to bring out another character that does have high reprocessing of this, and there's a bean counter implant which you can use for reprocessing to give you an additional like 2% or whatnot. So if these guys are charging 2% and I get an additional 2% by having that implant, it's almost like getting it for free. So, you know, almost. So, all right, let's take him back to the main station. And now it's much smaller. Look at that. It's 1% of the size when it's compressed. And it is worth a little bit more compressed than uncompressed, but the amount is not hugely different. There's a 4 billion implant. Oh wait, there's a 4% bean counter. Let's dock up and we'll look at what the bean counters have to offer.
Drive active.
So there's a bunch of bean counter ones. Okay, there's a 4% here. Oh, 138 million for a 4% boost to reprocessing. Well worth the money. Refined yield mutator 4%.
Docking permission requested. Docking request.
I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? And then I forget if all these, let's see, is it that the first number represents the slot that it goes in? Is that implant slot 8? Yeah, I think that's what it represents. And so like this right here, implant slot 7. Yeah. So industry here, you know, 148 million.
User rock.
Boo the Dwarf just subscribed for 2 months.
Bood the Dwarf, thank you for subbing 2 months. There is 20 gold to everybody here in your honor. And then I will also see what Dolly thinks your Twitch avatar looks like. It's probably going to be dwarfy. Probably. So this one is a bonus to manufacturing time. If manufacturing time is important to you, then, you know, there you go. But for most people, it's not. He does not look like a dwarf. He is really tall. All right, I'm asking him to make you the size of a midget. Because you are way too tall for a dwarf. Unable to generate because the request did not comply with content policy. Okay, no taller than 3 foot tall. Little person. Okay. So is midget offensive? Sometimes I have trouble keeping up on the terminology. I don't want to be offensive, but sometimes, well, he's still too tall. He has a great beard, though. Allegedly, yes, it is. That's just like barbarian, apparently, is an offensive word these days, too. And here I am saying it. But there are such things as barbarians, like historically. And they're in WoW. And a lot of medieval MMOs. Hey, the size of a little person. Sorry to cause trouble? You're not causing trouble. I'm making my own trouble. Okay. He's not the size of a little person. All right, I'm giving it a little context. I mean, I enjoy trying to get it to do what I want to. Well, we are not having a whole lot of success here, but it did make you much smarter. It did definitely make you much smarter. Here, I'm going to put 2 versions up here for you in Discord, like these last 2, for whichever one you want. And there you go. So, all right. So the bean counter one, and then let's see, the industry, and then metallurgy. So metallurgy, material need research bonus, minus 5%. What does that mean? 5% bonus to speed. Okay. Yeah. And then the reprocessing, 4%. 4% bonus to ore and ice reprocessing yield. Notice they don't mention moon goo. And then research, 5% bonus to blueprint manufacturing time research. And then science, 5% bonus to blueprint copying speed. So, yeah, anyway, I just think if you're reprocessing a lot of stuff, you may want to have your reprocessor have a proper, you may want them to have a proper fit. And you can't just pile all of these into one person, because they're slot 8, 7, 8, 6, 8. So, and which is, you know, maybe you end up with multiple clones or something. So, How much is 100 Plex at auction right now? I didn't know you could auction Plex. So, all right. We did good today. I think overall, I think this is an interesting ship. And, you know, I'm not convinced on its performance yet. Certainly not convinced enough to put out a fit out there saying it has my seal of approval, because it doesn't yet. There's some questions about it, and I'd like those answered before I do that. Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, that is it. See you in the next episode.